It's the Galaxy S23 Ultra. In fact, the system itself on this phone has taken up over 60 gigabytes of space. What is this, spyware? In fact, they make you pay more for less storage now. Or at least that's what I've heard on the internet. You know, I don't have any brand-specific preferences, but I've got a working theory as to why it's the case. Take a listen. This brand new AT&T optimized version of a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is taking up 44.57 gigabytes for system alone. And that's about 10 to 15 gigabytes more than its predecessor, the S23 Ultra. First, I couldn't understand what's going on. This being the 256 version, I went ahead and sourced two other versions from fellow creators, 512 and 1 terabyte. And what do you know? 256 system storage is less than 512, and 512 is taking up less space for the system than the 1 terabyte. So the higher the capacity, the more system storage it takes up. But why? The operating system should be taking up the same amount of space, regardless of the phone's size. But then I had a light bulb moment. Did you know that 1024 bytes is 1 kilobyte? As it turns out, Samsung passes the losses in storage conversion to the system instead of to you. For example, if you're buying a phone that's advertised to have 512 gigabytes of space, you're really getting 476 because of this conversion factor, an entire 36 gigabytes less than what you've been advertised to. The same thing applies to 128 and 256 gigabyte models. If you buy 128, you're only getting 119 gigabytes of usable space, and if you buy a 256 like this one, you only get 238 gigabytes of usable space. And in my opinion, Samsung knew that 99.9% of people don't know about this conversion factor. And instead of having false advertisement claims, they're passing these losses due to conversion to the system and just showing you a different number based on the capacity. Because remember, the higher the capacity you're looking at, the more losses you're having because of the conversion factor, and those losses are being passed down to system. And a system most likely takes up the same amount of space on all models, all capacities. They just show you a different number to compensate for the storage conversion losses.
Also, another super important thing to note, if you tap on this little icon in front of apps, it'll actually show you what apps and how much space they're taking. Depending on if you get the phone at AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, or any other provider, these providers can add their own apps, they can add their own overlays and customizations. These customizations can take up less or more space depending on a provider, but in this experiment, I've gotten the same phone from the same provider with the same customizations. You know what's absolutely crazy that people don't think about? You know what else can change the amount of space that your system takes up on your phone? Apps. But the thing is that not new downloaded apps, you enabling certain features on your phone. For example, imagine you buy a phone that's clean and then you realize that you want to enable what's called the dual messenger function, or you want to enable the secure folder, or you want to add another user profile so somebody else can use your phone. That ensures that the system reserves space for those features. Reserving extra space for those features eats up more space. That could also be the fact, but the thing is that I'm comparing a brand new factory reset phone to another factory reset phone of a different capacity. The reason why I mentioned all these things because I already know that people in the comments are going to actually mention this, and trust me, I thought about this. We're really comparing apples to apples. And also, people are going to mention that there's two different standards, GB for gigabytes, GB and GIB. And trust me, I don't want to overcomplicate this video. Also, if it wasn't clear, at the beginning of this video, I was joking about the intro and this phone being trash. I was just reading the quotes that I've read on the internet from people who did not understand what was going on. That's the reason why I've created this video in the first place. If anything, this is the best Android phone money can buy. If you have an unlimited budget, go with this one. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, no contest. The best one you can get. If you're under a budget, then you can get something that can get you 80% there, like the OnePlus 11 or other phones. But this is currently the best phone, and I think Samsung's made a strategic and correct decision on doing this because they don't want to confuse consumers who are thinking they're getting a 512 gigabyte phone, and then all of a sudden they see that they get less. They just add that to the system just to make sure you're not confused. It's an engineering decision that's probably pretty smart. I hope you liked it, share it with your friends, and if you watch this video until the end, please comment your burning Android question with a mushroom emoji, and I'll prioritize those and answer your questions. I'll see you in the next one.